think you kind of get addicted to it. It's those gleaming surfaces when you see them. The nicely curved surfaces that doesn't shout but kind of understated strength to it. That's what's appealing. It's also the rarity too. That something so normal in the past now has become to have such a super quality to it. We live in an age where we can design through CAD and then 3D print it less than a day. And thanks to that digital procedure, now the car has become to have such a more kind of pinching plastic gesture to it. So everything has become extremely easy and fast to achieve. That's all great, but sometimes we feel very lost in this dizzying digital world. It's that numbers that get into this black box and then form pops out. Where's the skilled hands of craftsmen? Where did the thinking hands go? When did the word car become such an emotionless digital product? Or the better question would be, what is it that made those classic cars look so timeless? In search of the thinking hands of making cars, well, a couple of ways, I came across to discover a craft called English wheeling. Panels produced this way are extremely expensive due to the highly skilled and labor-intensive production way, but it has a key kind of advantage that can flexibly produce different panels with the same machine. I mean, it would be a shame to lose this craft when we can realize this great emotion through today's technology. First is to add English wheeling in the design process. Maybe add it right after clay modeling to use that as an evaluation method to control the design, to have somewhat more of an understated appealing design to it. Secondly, it's English wheel production. Record a skilled craftsman's English wheeling and then replicate it with an automated English wheeling robot. And if you think about the benefits of having just a few English wheel robots, instead of having multiple expensive investments on huge stamping presses every time, the advantages are immense. Yes, it might take a bit more time to produce each panel, but for a luxury brand like Bentley, it comes as a kind of a benefit because the story and time behind the car is extremely important in a luxury brand. So to come up with a design that is truly dedicated to the process, I bought this time English wheel, and I experimented with quite a various materials. But ultimately, I met Mr. Lance McCormack. He runs a classic car restoration business called Romance of Rust, just near Kew Gardens. Mr. McCormack was an apprentice in Rolls-Royce back in the days, and after coming out from Rolls-Royce, he has been restoring classic cars ever since. But in doing this, there were two aesthetical inspirational objects. The first would be the Bentley Speed 6 Blue Trim and the B-29 Super Fortress airplane. What I wanted to do was create kind of a new way of the car's greenhouse. So the B-29 airplane's cockpit windows were quite inspiring for me, how it was laid out. And the functional inspiration was, if you see today's modern cars, they have heated windscreens and they have little threads going through for the heating, but it's not visible from when you're driving. So if we have two layers of glass and in between a kind of structural thread going through, and having that kind of atmosphere of the B-29 cockpit windshield, it would be something very different, and also you have freedom to design a very curved surface on the pillar area, and also you have blind spot prevention as an advantage. Giving back that magical emotion back to the car, a revolt against the absence of a thinking hand, a modern day hybrid arts and craft movement.